What's going on YouTube? It's the Middle School Math Man. Today's video is on standard form. So, we got a couple different types of problems. So, as we know, standard form, just your general standard form, is going to be ax plus by equals c. So in these first types of problems, the directions are convert the following from standard form to slope-intercept form. So as we know, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. I'm going to rewrite that. Y equals mx plus b. So, if we're looking at number 4, I'm basically solving for y. So I need to manipulate this equation that is in standard form, and I need to convert it to slope-intercept form. So I need to get y by itself. So if I'm trying to get y by itself, I'm going to get rid of the 6x. I'm going to do that by subtracting 6x from both sides. So I'm left with 3y equals negative 6x plus 6. And one more step to get it into y equals mx plus b. I don't want 3y, so I'm going to divide everything on the right side by 3. So when I do that, my final answer should be y equals negative 2x plus 2. That is now in slope-intercept form. Let's look at number 5. Same thing, I'm solving for y, so I'm going to get rid of the x. And I'm going to do that by subtracting x from both sides because it's positive x. So I'm left with 2y equals negative x plus 4. And then I don't want 2y, I just want y, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I have to divide everything on the right side by 2. So negative x divided by 2 is negative 1/2 x, plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. So your final answer should be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Moving on to number 6, that's a negative 2x, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides. So I have 3y equals 2x minus 6. Again, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, so I'm going to get y equals 2 over 3x minus 2. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Last one, I'm left with negative y equals negative 5x minus 5. I don't want negative y, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1, and I'm left with y equals 5x plus 5. So that was 4 problems on converting from standard form to slope-intercept form. Again, you're basically just solving for y. So you need to get rid of the 6x and then divide by whatever coefficient is in front of the y. So moving on. A little bit different problem. My goal here is to write a slope-intercept equation. I'm giving you the slope. I'm telling you it's 3, and I give you a point. So if we have y equals mx plus b, I know that m is 3. So the only other piece of information I need to find in this problem is the y-intercept. So I'm looking for b. So the other pieces I need are an x and a y. So if we look over here in our problem, I give you a point. And in a point, I have an x value and I have a y value. So we're going to take our 2, that's going to be y, and we're going to just plug into y equals mx plus b. So I have 2 equals 3 is my slope, 4 is going to be my x value, and then I'm solving for b. So again, all I did was I took the x values from the point, and I took the y value from the point, and I just plugged it into my y equals mx plus b. So now I'm just going to solve for b. So I have 2 equals 3 times 4 is 12 plus b. And so I'm solving for b, so I need to get rid of that 12, and I'm going to do that by subtracting 12. So we're going to get negative 10 equals b. So now I have my slope and I have my y-intercept, so I can go ahead and write my equation. So y is going to equal 3x minus 10. Last two problems, these are going to be a little bit more challenging. So in order to find slope from 2 points, we have to remember back to our slope formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So first I'm going to solve for the slope. I'm going to do negative 1 minus 4 because I'm taking the y value from the second ordered pair and the y value from the first ordered pair and subtracting them. Then on the denominator I'm going to have 6 minus 1. So I'm going to get negative 5 over 5, which is going to give me a slope of negative 1. So now that you found the slope, this is very similar to the previous problem. However, there's 2 points. So it doesn't matter which one you pick from. They're all on the same line, so it's going to give us the same y-intercept no matter what. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to pick the first point. So I'm going to plug in 4 for y. We just found out my m to be negative 1. My x value is 1, and I have plus b. That's what I'm solving for. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, so then I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So I get 5 equals b. So now that I have my slope and my y-intercept, I can go ahead and write my equation. Y equals negative 1x plus 5. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with this problem. I'm going to solve for slope. So I have 3 minus 1, y2 minus y1 over 5 minus 0, x2 minus x1. So I'm going to get 2 over 5 as my slope. Now I'm just going to pick either point. I'm going to use 0, 1. So I have 1 equals m, which is 2 over 5, times x, which using that point is 0. So this actually is going to work out nicely for us because 2 over 5 times 0 is 0. So we get 1 equals b. So my final slope-intercept form is going to be y equals 2 over 5x plus 1.